Good morning, gentlemen. It is my honor to introduce our morning speaker today, a true son of West Virginia and a lifelong public servant whose leadership has left a lasting impact on our state. Kris Warner is a sixth-generation West Virginian, born in Charleston and educated in our state's public schools, including right down the road, West Virginia University. Over the course of his distinguished career, Kris has built a reputation for visionary leadership in both public and private sectors. He served as our state in many roles as a successful businessman, as a national and state party leader, and a champion for rural development throughout his work with the USDA. Most recently, Kris has served as the executive director of the West Virginia Economic Development Authority, where he helped oversee more than $2 billion in investments to grow jobs and expand broadband and build better futures for our communities right here in West Virginia. In 2004, West Virginians elected Kris as our 31st Secretary of State, where he now works to protect the integrity of our elections and ensure that small businesses have the support they need to succeed. Gentlemen, I introduce to you your Secretary of State, Mr. Kris Warner.
Thank you, Kris, for that introduction. I appreciate it. Hey guys, I am really honored to be here with you guys. It means a lot. It means so much that yesterday morning I left my family back in Yellowstone National Park and made my way here with 2 canceled flights. And instead of flying home to Charleston and getting a night of sleep, I flew into Pittsburgh about midnight, got off the plane about 12:30, drove through the night to be here with you. But what's more important is that you made the decision to be here with everyone else. You made the determination not to go to the lake or the river and go fishing or swimming, but be here at Boys State. And I appreciate you doing that. Let me ask you by a show of hands, how many of you think that there are problems that need to be solved here in West Virginia? Okay, thank you. I hope that in the next 10, 15 minutes or so that you feel empowered to create change, to do whatever that is, whether it's at the city level, the county or state, or even federal level. And I think that you're going to have a week to meet friends here. I would encourage you to collect names, telephone numbers. I hope that you'll meet as many people as you possibly can. I know you all have been raised in COVID, and so many things happen via, text message and over social media. But this gives you an opportunity to talk to folks face to face, get to know each other, and I hope that you'll get so good at talking to each other that when you get back home, you're going to find someone that you can ask to be a mentor for you. Maybe it's one of the staff members here. By the way, let's go ahead and give every staff member here a round of applause. I challenge you to be a connector. That means meet somebody and then turn around and introduce them to somebody else that you've met here. And by the end of the week, I hope you've met every one of the 230 so citizens that are citizens of Boys State. It's an honor for me to be here with you today on behalf of the entire state of West Virginia to congratulate each and every one of you for being selected to attend the 86th Annual American Legion Mountaineer Boys State. Without any doubt whatsoever, Boys State is the premier leadership program for high school students here in West Virginia. Each of you have been selected to attend one of the most respected educational and leadership programs in the nation. Since 1936, the American Legion has hosted Mountaineer Boys State in an effort to introduce young men to local, county, state, and federal government. More important, Boys State teaches that good government, the best government, comes from citizen participation, a lesson that every one of you will learn this week. The underlying premise of good government is citizen participation. When you return home on Saturday, you'll have a much better understanding of the true meaning of citizen participation in the election process, community involvement, and public service. My hope is that you will take what you learn here this week as citizens of Boys State to become engaged citizens of your hometown, your county, and your state. And although you're citizens here at Boys State, when you return home, you're residents. Most of you will turn 18 in the next year. And you can become active citizens of your community by registering to vote and then actually go vote. And some of you may become candidates in the near future. As the Secretary of State, I'm the Chief Elections Officer for West Virginia. It is my job to work with our 55 county clerks to encourage voter participation and in our election process after you have registered to vote. Within the next year, most of you, if not all of you, will turn 18 years old. At 18, you're eligible to register to vote. West Virginia has a unique history with voting rights in America. It was United States Senator Jennings Randolph, the senator from Salem, West Virginia, and Harrison County, that fought for 29 years to reduce the voting age from 21 to 18 years of age. Your American history professors will tell you that in 1942, World War II was raging in Europe. America was engaged and more troops were needed. In November 1941, then President Franklin Roosevelt, by executive order and the stroke of his pen, in an effort to get more troops prepared to fight in the war, reduced the military draft age from 21 to 18 years of age. In 1941, the voting age was 21. In 1941, then Congressman Jennings Randolph stood on the floor of Congress and declared to President Roosevelt and his colleagues, "Mr. President, if these young men are old enough to be forced into military service, to fight and perhaps die for their country, then they're old enough to vote for those leaders who make that decision to go to war." Randolph said, if they're old enough for bullets, they're old enough for ballots. But in 1941, President Roosevelt and Congress wouldn't reduce the age to 18. So in 1942, Jennings Randolph of West Virginia introduced legislation to create the 26th Amendment to the United States Constitution to guarantee U.S. citizens that were 18, 19, and 20 years old the right to vote. The legislation didn't pass in 1942. Does anyone know how long it took for that legislation to finally pass? You got it. You were listening. Thanks. It was in 1971, actually 30 years after the draft age was reduced from 21 to 18. In the height of the Vietnam War, the Senator Randolph's legislation to create the 26th Amendment was passed by Congress and then ratified by the states. It was considered such an important voting rights issue of the time that President Nixon signed the amendment into law at the White House during the July 4th holiday in 1971. It took Jennings Randolph of West Virginia 30 years to get 18, 19, and 20-year-olds the right to vote. He never gave up on young adults. Randolph's legacy is still alive in West Virginia. We want young people to get involved. On November 4th, 2014, Sarah Blair, a 17-year-old at Hedgesville High School, was elected to serve Berkeley County in the West Virginia House of Delegates. Sarah was elected at 17 years of age, but turned 18 before January 1st of 2015, when her legislative term was to begin. Still today, Delegate Sarah Blair of West Virginia is the youngest citizen ever to be elected to any state legislature in the history of our country. Just 7 days before his 19th birthday, Caleb Hanna of Nicholas County won election to the West Virginia House of Delegates on November 6, 2018. To this day, Delegate Hanna of West Virginia is the youngest Black American to ever be elected to any state legislature in the history of our country. One more note that I think is important. On February 11, 1972, Ella Mae Thompson Haddix of Randolph County became the first 18-year-old to register to vote in the history of the United States. She was personally escorted by Senator Randolph to the courthouse in Elkins to register to vote. There are many other duties of the Secretary of State in West Virginia, and one of those is I serve as the state's Chief Business Registration Officer. My staff and I help entrepreneurs and business owners by making it easy to start or open a business in West Virginia. I'm the keeper of the state seal. I certify legislation when it passes, and my office keeps track of business of state government. But by far the most important role that I serve is to oversee, manage, and deploy our election process, making elections secure and ensuring that elections are safe, fair, and accurate, increases voter confidence and leads to more voter participation. My time is limited here today, and I could go on about this great job that I've been elected to serve. So I want to offer each of you this very special challenge, and I want you to listen up. The West Virginia Secretary of State's office hosts the Jennings Randolph Award for Civic Engagement. This award has been recognized nationally and is considered one of the most prestigious civic awards in the United States. The Jennings Randolph Award is given to any high school that hosts a student-led voter registration drive to register at least 85% of your high school seniors to vote. Principals at the high schools that earn the award can then nominate 2 seniors who helped lead the effort to be named as honorary secretaries of state. Those students are invited to come to Charleston in January and February to be recognized by the West Virginia Legislature. On your tables is a rack card with information on the Jennings Randolph Award. I want you to please take one with you, accept my challenge, and return to your high schools in the fall and get your classmates registered to vote. We have a statewide election in 2026. I want all of you, each and every one of you, to get registered to vote. Being selected to be here at Boys State makes you a citizens of Boys State. Registering to vote again takes you from being a resident of West Virginia to being a citizen of West Virginia. Gentlemen, enjoy this week. Take it all in. Meet as many new friends as you can. And on Thursday at the state capitol in Charleston, my office will help host those of you elected to be governor, a member of the Board of Public Works, delegates, and senators. I look forward to seeing some of you on Thursday. I want to conclude by offering my sincere thanks to the American Legion and to the adult leaders here at Boys State who year in and year out dedicate your time and talents to these incredible young men. In this room today, right here at Jackson Mill, our future mayors and council members, school board members, presidents, sheriffs, clerks, recorders, judges, legislators, a secretary of state, a governor, and perhaps even a future United States senator or president. Citizens of Boys State, congratulations to each of you, and thank you for your attention this morning. Time for
Secretary Warner, it is my honor and distinct privilege to present to you a token from the Mountaineer Boys State program, one of our challenge coins. Thank you so much for coming to speak to us this year.
Thank you. Let me just tell you, I'm going to bring every one of you a West Virginia gold pin, but since I came into Pittsburgh, which is not my home, to get here, the pins are being driven up from Charleston. You'll have one here before the end of the week for the staff and for every one of you here. Let me just offer, if I can ever be of help or assistance, be a recommendation, list me on a resume. You're welcome to do that. Let me know ahead of time you're doing it. And then if they follow up, I'll make sure that I remind them that I met you at Boys State, and if that's something I can do, I'd be glad to do it. Thank you.